make that your goal, because almost always you're gonna find that you can make all of the agreements, arrangements that you want. At the end of the day, it's gonna change day to day.
People getting divorced
tearing their families apart, coasting through marriage.
or fighting their way through it. I'm Cass.
And I'm Kathryn.
We came back from the depths of hell to save our abusive, our toxic marriage.
We're MorrowMarriage.
Let's flip divorce statistics with the new marriage.
All right, last episode we talked about blue and pink jobs, but we had an interesting question from one of our followers. And it was simple. It was, if my husband works and he comes home and mows the lawn, outside work, is he still responsible for other household duties, managing the kids, dishes, whatever? I'd like to talk about this because I think many men need to have a different perspective here.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so the first thing that I always like to do with my men when they go into my program is they haven't even actually gone to my program. I've given this as free training, and I want them to understand when you start talking about I provide, I protect, I'm a great dad, I'm a great guy. These are all baseline normal things, okay? Then I lead them down a path of understanding that if you do all those things, you still have to do that single, or else you're not really a baseline normal man. What do you mean? You're not married, so you're not going to work, right? What do you mean? You're going to not clean your house because you're not married, right? Oh, you're not going to take care of your kids because you're not married, right? Like at the end of the day, you still have to do all these things. So, before I go on too far, the women in your program, you say is a pretty high ratio where men just they feel kind of entitled. Like, well, this is the roles we came up with, the blue and pink jobs. You do the lawn, you wash the cars, but I still need all this other stuff. Oh, I did that the wrong way around. You do the dishes, you take care of the kids, all that, that's what we decided. I'm paying the bills. Do you get a lot of women like that?
Yes and no. So yes, because the wives in my program will say that the men, they come home at the end of the day and they don't want to do anything. Maybe they will do the quote unquote blue jobs like mowing the lawn, vehicle maintenance, or maybe they won't. But where I would disagree with you is that what you said was men say, well, this is what we decided. This is your role. This is mine. No, the women in my program who are having issues with this division of roles, they never actually had a conversation. It was assumed roles.
Right.
So rather than talk about how difficult it is, and this goes back to the last episode about gratitude, women, I will tell them if their husband comes home at the end of the day and they just want to walk away from their kids and say, you do it, please remember that your husband also, while he wasn't working with the children, might have had a really hard day and he feels the same as you. He wants to come home, and some men like to crack a beer at the end of the day. Some men like to go and hide in the bathroom for an hour, apparently. And like when you don't poop at work and it takes you an hour to poop, I don't know. Whatever it is, they come home and they don't want to do anything. And the wife gets really upset. Now, the husband also gets upset because the wife says, no, you take the kids. Well, first of all, how do you think the kids feel when everyone's like, you take the kids? No, you take the kids. This
Good
is really
point.
destructive
Mm-hmm.
because the kids hear and see this, but the wives are not. I have to remind the wives, listen, your husband, yes, it's tough with the kids. I have kids. It's a hurricane in my house all the time. We have a nanny. She's downstairs with Riddick right now. And the girls are preschool. But I get it. It's really difficult. But what happened to your husband today? We work together some of the time, so I know what's happening to him and he knows what's happening to me. But if you're the typical couple that we talk to where the wife is upset because the man comes home and won't take care of the kids, did you assume that he just had a great day? Are you entitled to his paycheck? He might have stress about money. He might have stress about his boss. He might have stress about his employees. He doesn't know that you're having stress about your 2-year-old dumping milk on the floor because he thinks it's nothing. But why does he think it's nothing? Because you haven't had a heartfelt conversation about what your lives are even like because you're disconnected. So there's no division of roles that's actually been talked about, and there's no understanding of how that other person might have been feeling. So I remind my wives every day, please remember that you do like that your husband brings home a 6-figure salary. You do appreciate that your husband will make the appointment to go get the tires changed, because most of my wives in my program, some of them are badass. They can do anything. But
Yeah.
most of them are like me. They don't want to change their tires, or they.
I'll tell you though, a lot of the men that come into my program find a way to get into the program. Their wives, sometimes the ones that pay for the program for them. And those wives, when they go through my program, the men are going through the program, but they realize that their wives, they're still doing all that other stuff. So the funny thing about this dynamic is, even though there's an expectation one side for men, when the women are providing, or even sometimes maybe they're not making as much money, but they do work a full-time job.
Yes, I have
right?
a lot of those women as well.
And then still, she's now expected to do all these other things.
Make all of the dinners, do all of the after-school activities.
Marketplace pickups, organize what everybody's wearing for clothes in the morning.
Family photos, everything that's sort of
the Christmas shopping, the wrapping,
yeah, anything that's quote unquote pink. And you need to understand, when we say blue and pink jobs, we mean more traditional. We don't mean that you actually have to fall into those categories.
No, of course.
We just, that's how we're categorizing it. Blue for boys, pink for girls. Are we even allowed to say that in this day and age? Anyway, we're going to say
it. Yeah. So this is what I want everybody to really think about here, because it's so simple. It's just partnership, and really tie back to that gratitude. Let's use that milk example, right? Actually, I'm going to use a dirty one. You actually don't mind changing bums. You've actually liked changing bums, being a mama and doing it, right? But there are days when she's like, if I see another diaper, right?
I'm like, dibbed out. I can't do any more poop.
Exactly. You have to think about this like a partnership, right? So I could actually have the worst day on the planet. I could have been up at 5 a.m. and then worked until whatever time, several days in a row, and then, exhausted, terrible day. And you're like, I just need you to take the kids, right? Or I need to peace out now that you're here, right? And we're at a stage where there's always gratitude, where it never feels like nagging, never feels like, and we certainly don't complain. There's gratitude, right? And so even if it comes across aggressive, right?
Which sometimes it does. If I'm at the end of my rope with the kids, I'm like, you take them, I got to go.
Yeah.
And I don't actually go anywhere. I might just go sit for 5 or 10 minutes and check my phone in silence.
Yeah, in peace. Sometimes you don't. You just sit right there on the couch while the chaos is still going on, but you can
tune it
breathe.
out.
Yeah,
tune it out. I say, please go ask Dua.
So what I want to encourage you, all of those of you who are wondering what the best way to make this work is, it's simply going back to, I'm an adult. Man or woman, I'm an adult. 2, I'm a partner. If you could start to look, I'm going to put this reel out here pretty quick, I think, but I thought about this yesterday while I was driving. I recorded it, and it's like, you spend all this time before you get married trying to find the perfect partner. Then when things start to go south in your marriage, you spend all this time trying to fix your partner and make them the perfect partner. The moment we decided to both become the perfect partner ourselves, which was different times, okay? Now we're a partnership. So I think that if we can all do that more, I'm an adult, I'm a partner, let's move forward.
And can I add to that?
Yes, please.
So we did a coaching call with a group of men the other day. And I very much believe, so he used the word perfect. And people will say, no, you can't be perfect. Nothing's perfect. Shut up. If you're not trying to be perfect, you're never going to be your best.
Yeah, if you tell yourself it's not possible, it's like narcissists can't change.
Yeah, and we all know that nobody can be perfect. But shouldn't you be striving for 100% all the time? Because if you only strive for 50%, you're only going to hit 30. So if you at least strive for 100, and that means try to be the best version of yourself, continue to grow. You're looking for the best partner. In order to have the best partner, you need to be the best partner. You need to influence your partner. If you're showing gratitude, your partner, that doesn't go unnoticed. Your partner will start to realize, wow.
The kill them with kindness thing.
Yeah, and it might take time. Your partner might not notice after 24 hours that you start thanking it, or your partner might think it's weird. If you start, thank you so much for going to work today, honey, your partner might be like, what
can we talk about that?
she saying to me right now?
Let's talk about that, because there's a big difference between showing gratitude and just trying to flatter someone. See, that's not real.
I think you said gratty. I'm going to
Gratty?
Yeah,
Gratty?
show gratty.
Yeah, show gratty.
Yeah, flattery and gratitude are two different things.
Totally different things. So thanks, baby. So if you think about being authentic, being real, that should be part of your best version, right? I don't think enough people spend enough time talking about authenticity. I do. I think it's that important. So just trying to be grateful, yes, I'm sure you would tell your women the same I would tell men. Sometimes that can be a challenge. I have a man right now being screamed at by his wife all the time. It's not easy to find something to be grateful for. But there's still things that she's doing that he can pull out. And he's not just making up shit like you look so pretty today. You know, that's flattery. That's crap. Okay?
Well, and flattery is good as long as it's real and it's authentic.
Yeah,
But gratitude and flattery, they can be two sides of the same coin.
they
But
can,
you
but
do want to make sure that you're showing gratitude, because gratitude is more about someone's character, about someone's behaviors, about someone's actions. And flattery, it can be about, all of those things, but oftentimes it's a little bit more surface level. Would you agree?
that's what I'm getting. That's why I say it's crap. Like we have lots of surface level, but that's turned into our like jokes, our
Yeah, our
flirts, our
banter.
banter, right?
Gratty and flatty.
Ratty and flatty. So I think that if you are struggling, you're going to struggle hard with that. It's super difficult to find something to be grateful for, to be actually complimenting and meaning it, and actually showing up as a partner, especially if you're the one who starts to make changes. I know that this happens to men in my program. They make all these changes. They start showing up as an adult. Then they're learning to not have to expect gratitude, right? Just showing up. But then they're quite taken care of. They're no longer, their wife's no longer the wife or the mom, but they're now the dad and the butler. And there's no gratitude. So they really start to feel like it's the roles are reversed, right? I think it's important for you to understand you're the one trying to make a change right now. So you inspire, you lead, you go for being the best partner.
That's right. And what he just described there with, in case anybody didn't catch it, his brain goes really fast. So the wife,
She translates for me.
the wife might feel like her husband's mom, and she might feel like she's the kid's mom and doing all of the jobs for the dad. And so, you have this one extreme, but when the husband starts to show gratitude for those things, then it goes in the other direction. And now the husband is feeling the exact same way that the wife felt, which is the butler. And now he's doing all of it. And so it went from him
The
being
entitlement
complacent,
switches.
it switches, and it takes time for it to level back out again. It's that whole pendulum analogy, which is why I just did this, because it eventually will come back around and settle. But in those first moments, when you start to show gratitude, whether it's you as a woman or you as a man, the person on the receiving end might take a little bit of a breather and start to appreciate it, and then they become complacent. But it will go full circle if you can stand the test of time. Stay strong in your
Patience.
new actions.
Yeah.
Be patient, because your wife was doing all these things. Now you're doing all of them. You're showing gratitude. It's confusing for her, or vice versa if you're the wife and you're, so just
100%.
stick with it, because you will go from one extreme to the other, but it will settle in.
You've got to really think about the context of this episode really ties in with last episode, okay? You want to make sure that you're showing up as the best partner that you can be. That will sometimes create like a, oh my gosh, sigh. And then like now the pendulum's swinging the wrong way here. But you continue to show the gratitude. So go listen to last week's episode and you continue to show up. Do not be complacent. You've got to also be establishing trust, which is all part of safety and security. And there's all kinds of other things that this will feed into. But for now, let's leave them with that.
Well, and just remember that when you are asking us what's appropriate for roles, you're asking the wrong person. We will give you our insight, but you have to have a conversation with your spouse.
Oh yeah,
and
great
it has
point.
to come from a position of understanding. So you can it does not matter what the division of roles is in your home. It does not matter. You just have to agree on it so that no one has unmet expectations. And that comes from no one having assumptions, and not having assumptions comes from having a heartfelt, deep understanding of what each person needs in conversation.
Yeah, and I think, sorry, that makes me go one more step here, that if you guys can think about truly what you want moving forward, make that your goal, because almost always you're going to find that you can make all of the arrangements that you want. At the end of the day, it's going to change day to day.
It could.
It's going to change. The traffic is late. The nanny's sick. Have to work late.
Your
Like,
kids are crazy.
Kids are crazy. Like, and forget all the other things, like the intimacy is not there and all that sort of stuff. It's going to change day to day. So just because you make an agreement, that doesn't mean that that's ironclad. You have to also, I think, agree to sure, follow the way we do it in our home. okay, or make the ones that you want to do in your own home. You have to always understand that you're going to have to
It
potentially
can be flexible.
flexible,
Yeah.
flexibility.
Nobody's signing anything in blood these days. Everybody calm down.
Well, if we're going to use any fluids, baby.
We gotta
Okay,
go.
gotta go.
Bye.